And she did not reply. I mean, I asked her, how are you feeling?
Maybe she is lying. She has not got up only.
Yeah. Okay. We are live.
Start.
Yes, sir. You can start with the mantra.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Apadamauli Paryantam Gurunam Akritim Smaret Ena Viknaha Pranashyanti Siddhyanti Chamanoratah Yogena Chittasya Padena Vacham Malam Sharirasya Chavaidhyakena Yopakarottam Pravaram Muninam Patanjalim Pranjaliranatosmi Abahu Purushakaram Shankachakrasidharinam Sahasrashirasam Shvetam Pranamami Patanjalim. Today it's about Panchamrita Snana. I think for Lata, this may be something interesting to know. After morning, once that deities, everything is ready, then they will do Panchamrita Abhisheka. That's what generally people go early morning. But in this, for Shiva, there are Panchamrita Snana in that Kshira, that is milk, then Dahi, curd, then Ajya, then Madhu, honey, Sharkara, that is sugar, Halodaka, tender coconut, then Gandhodaka, sandalwood, then Pushpodaka, flower water, then Akshata, the rice, then Suvarnodaka with gold water, then Bhasma, ash water, then Durva, that is the grass. So this is about 2 pages. This is just puja. Panchamrita Snanam. Panchamrita Devatabhyo Namaha. Dhyana Vahanadi Shodashopachara Pujan Samarpayami. Bhavani Shankara Prityartham Panchamrita Snanam Karishyami. Apyayasva Sametu Te Vishwata Soma Vrishniyam. Bhavavajasya Sangathe Bhavani Shankarabhyam Namaha. Kshirena Snapayami. Tadikravannao akarisham jishno rashyasya vajinah Rabhino mukhakarana prana ayugham shitarisham Bhavani Shankarabhyam Namaha Dadnasnapayami Chukramasi Jyotirasi Tejosi Devo Vatsavitotpunatvaच्छidrena Pavitrena Vaso Suryasya Rashmibihi Bhavani Shankarabhyam Namaha Ajyena Snapayami Madhuvata Madhuksharanti Sindhavah Mardvi Santoshathi Madhunaktamutoshasi Madhumatparthivagam Rajaha Madhudyaudaspunhapita Madhumamno Vanaspatir Madhumagam Astu Suryaha Mardvirgavo Bhavantunaha Bhavani Shankarabhyam Namaha Madhuna Snapayami Swadupavasva Divyaya Janmane Swadurindraya Suhavi Tunamne Swadurmitraya Varunaya Vayave Brahaspataye Madhumam Adabhyaha Bhavani Shankarabhyam Namaha Sharkaraya Snapayami Ya Phalinirya Aphala Apushpayasya Pushpinihi Brahaspati Prasutastano Munchantvagambhasaha Bhavani Shankarabhyam Namaha Halodakena Snapayami Gandhadvaram Duradharsham Nityapushtam Karishiniim Ishvarigam Sarvabhutanam Tamiho Pahvaye Shriyam Bhavani Shankarabhyam Namaha Gandhodakena Snapayami Yopam Pushpam Veda Pushpavan Prajavan Pashuman Bhavati Chandramava Apam Pushpam Pushpavan Prajavan Pashuman Bhavati Bhavani Shankarabhyam Namaha Pushpodakena Snapayami Ayanete Parayane Durva Rohantu Pushpinihi Tadascha Kundari Ikani Samudrasya Griha Ime Bhavani Shankarabhyam Namaha Akshatodakhena Snapayami Tat Suvarnagam Hiranyam Abhavat Tat Suvarnasya Hiranyasya Janma य एवगं सुवर्णस्य हिरण्यस्य जन्म वेद सुवर्ण आत्मना भवति भवानी शङ्कराभ्यां नमः सुवर्णोदकेन स्नपयामि मानो महान्तमुतमानो अर्भकं मान उक्षन्तमुतमान उक्षितम् मानो वधीपितरं मोत मातरं प्रिया मानस्तनुवो रुद्ररीरिषः भवानी शङ्कराभ्यां नमः भस्मोदकेन स्नपयामि काण्डात् काण्डात् प्ररोहन्ति परुषः परुषः परि एवानो दूर्वे प्रतनुसहस्रेण शतेन च भवानी शङ्कराभ्यां नमः दूर्वोदकेन स्तपयामि ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ तत्सत् श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु.
Thank you, but
Thank you.
Yeah, I went to the temple in my mind in Kerala. They do all this abhisheka one by one.
right.
And then I remembered that when my mother was critically ill, and my sister has given to that some thing in that Muruga temple. So I was going and so they bring that deity out, and then they did all this abhisheka and all that, and then they have that silver chariot. So in that they take. So that was the one which my sister has given. So I was remembering that they put all this one by one. Abhishek.
Actually, through this, I am getting myself immersed in that.
Good for you, but okay. So let's continue. Today we are going to take the 15th sutra in the second chapter. It talks about parinama, tapa, samskara, dukkha, guna, vritti, virodascha, dukkham eva sarvam vivekinaha. So, parinama is all about transforming from one to another. So the basic aim, what a person like to do is to transform, and every such transformation is a pain. So there is a dukkha. So there are three dukkha, that is parinama, tapa and samskara. Tapa is heating up, which creates anxiety if that parinama doesn't happen. Whatever is expected as a transformation or a change from one to another doesn't happen. And the third one is the samskara. So this is the impressions what we love to have. So we create these impressions that they are something very good. And all these three are dukkha, because they only provide pain. And the qualities of these three, that is parinama, tapa and samskara, is vritti, which means keep on moving from one to another. So it creates that function of movement. Virodha is contradiction. Cha dukkham, painful. Eva, indeed, sarvam, everything. That is to change from one to another, to work out in anxiety, and to have the impressions which is created due to conditions what one is going to set, is all painful. To whom? To vivekinaha, the man who can have discrimination. So let's understand its deeper essence. So now Patanjali is giving a truth which is actually spiritual. Now what is spiritual? Spiritual is the one where parinama, tapa, samskaras are not there. Only if these three things are not there, then it becomes adhyatma. There is one sutra related to adhyatma, but basically this is the starting point of being spiritual. So if I have parinama, expectation of a change, tapa, anxiety related to that change not happening or happening, and samskara, is creation of what I like it to be. So I decide and I want this to be in this way. So that I create that impression. So the basic thing what he's saying is that holding on to these three is dukkha. So now let's see why it is dukkha. Okay. So all the experiences I'm getting is from the five senses, either through sight or through sound or through taste or through touch or to smell, and thoughts which are not mine. Basically, they are coming from outside. And whatever I am talking about is more to do with the rupa which is coming in, that is the material. And my job is now to make this rupa meet my expectation. So there is parinama, and I have to work out a substantial amount of time to get that sight equals to the thing I'm seeing. So it cannot give happiness because there is always an anxiety of getting. If there is not got, and then I may remain unhappy. So even if I get it, it's temporary pleasure but goes away. Let us say I'm expecting somebody to come to my home, and they eventually come to the home, but they got delayed. So I keep on calling them to find out whether he's coming or not coming, coming and not coming. And then I have asked my wife to prepare food, and she keeps on asking me, can you check whether they're coming or not? Otherwise, we might not be able to eat so much food. So then I need to find out whether that person is going to come or their family is going to come. And they say, yeah, we're stuck in traffic, but we are coming. So what at that moment is that there is a relief from that pain, which is tapa. There's a relief from that because the expectation is the parinama. So I want them to come here, and that if they don't come is dukkha. So parinama, tapa, samskara, that is now I create these mental impression that they are very much required for me to enjoy food with them, let's say. Now what I could have done is that if they're not coming, I can ask my wife to prepare the food and give it to those people who don't have food. That I could have done. But I am in so much of anxiety that they are supposed to come, and then I'm giving them a call. And eventually when they come and we eat, we forget all about that taste of the food after that, and we are talking some subjects and they leave. After they leave, again the pain starts because the pleasure is gone now. It was such a pleasurable experience. And when they go away, we are to look again to meet. So if I was satisfied in the first meeting, there was no need for me to expect them to meet, to come again. Now they call me and I will go to their home, because in that way I can keep on seeing them, hearing them, tasting them, touching them, smelling them, thinking about them. So this is a real painful thing because there is always a fear of loss. Let's say they end up in an accident. At that time, it's even more worse. Or we end up in an accident, it's even more worse. And also, secondly, when we start our jobs in an organization, so we have so much of high expectation. But then when we reach our end, which is retirement, no one is happy. I could see my father going into a great deal of depression the moment that day came for him to retire. So, and he didn't know what to do. So he was all along thinking that how and what he should spend time with and what he should be doing with it, and all that was happening in his mind. And he was getting really worried and frustrated that he has to now spend time doing nothing. So even if I am in a high position or a low position or whatever position, and appreciated by hundreds of people. And even if I were to be told I'm a very great person and have a lot of admirers, and the way I'm trying to do this presently about spreading the knowledge on two channels. One is on a Buddha channel and one is this Vedanta channel. And I might get a lot of people hearing to it. But deep down fear, what if I lose that position? What if nobody listens to my talk? And then the pain starts. Till that time, there is no pain. As long as people are coming online and hearing and they're writing to me and they're appreciating me for whatever I am saying, there is no problem. But if there are nobody at all, now if I see in this channel what I've aired, at least one person is there, and now there is nobody there. Okay. So let's say some people will see after this. So there is an anxiety that they need to see these videos. And there is an anxiety that they have to ask me questions. I don't understand why they should see this and why they should ask me questions. Because there is fear. Because the pleasure is when somebody sees or somebody does something. In the same way, if I were to keep on accumulating the money or accumulating the family, accumulating whatever I'm accumulating, that accumulation itself is tapa, and I want it to work in the way it should be working. So there is parinama. So parinama, tapa, samskara. These three things are really painful. So because it is painful, there is anxiety. The anxiety is that whatever I have in my eye, whatever I have in my ears and nose and tongue and body and the mind should work out. That is a samskara. So I want this to work. If they are not working, then there is a problem. So I get tensed. So I am concerned about everything because there is a fear that what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't go as per what I am expecting it to be? So this pleasures, the past pleasures, I am craving for that experience. The present pleasures, I am expecting it at least meet the past, if not exceed the past. So we also put in our appraisals, meeting expectation, more than expectation, meeting more than expectation, meeting expectation, meeting lesser than expectation, something like that. The reason here is that the eye, the ear and nose and tongue and the body and the mind should at least meet that parinama. What is the expected outcome has to be there. That's a minimum. If it exceeds, even more better, but at least that one has to be there. So when I'm having these three gunas, that is the parinama, tapa and samskara, I am not spiritual because I am having one expectation that it should work. Then I am in anxiety that I will do something to make it work. And the actions I am taking through the five senses and the mind, which is samskara. So all of those things move me out of spirituality. So if I am saying that I am a adhyatma person, then I need to somehow empty that parinama, meaning don't expect anything. And when there is no expectation, then there is no longer this heat which is coming. Anxiety wouldn't be there because tapa is heat, and the heat is to make that parinama work. And there are no samskaras. So the meditation, what I need to do is to watch the parinama, tapa, samskara. and see that this is pain because it has vritti. So yogaha chitta vritti nirodha. So this vrittis have to be stopped, and the vrittis are happening due to parinama, tapa and samskara. So if I'm able to see that it is dukkha, eventually, even if it is working, it is dukkha. It is not working, anyway it is dukkha. So it is basically I am adding more dukkha to what the dukkha is all about. And hence I will do something different. And that is in the 16th verse. Heyam dukkham anagatam. At least now I am avoiding further pain. So avoid the pain of parinama, then taking something which is not there, tapa, and creating of samskara. So the first thing I need to do is to drop all samskaras. Should not have any samskaras created through eye or through ear or through nose or through tongue or through body or through mind. So as far as possible, I need to be on the breath all the time. All the 24 hours is recommended in doing whatever I am doing. So if I am seeing, I'm just seeing, I'm not seeing any person out there, because that person, if I'm seeing, is a samskara. And because of that samskara, then there is tapa, anxiety. Why? Because I don't know how that person is going to react. Because there is a person. Actually, there is no person. There is only 5 senses. There is no person sitting out there in front of me as I speak. Because I myself is not a person. So how can I find another person out there? So if I am very sure about that, then there are no samskaras. So first thing I need to do is to drop all samskara. That will drop off the tapa, and that will drop the parinama. And hence there is no dukkha. And once the mind doesn't have the dukkha, you will stop further more dukkha from arising. And hence the 17th shloka is achievable. We have to see that. Drashta drishyoho samyogaha heya hetuhu. This is what we started. So the seer Purusha is seeing Prakriti. And that mesmerizing thing about the Prakriti is given up because there is no parinama, there is no tapa, there is no samskara. For doing samskara, you require to heat yourself up. The mind has to get heated up with the 5 senses and have the parinama. So let's say it's not there. Then the Prakriti, you are not interested in Prakriti at all. Because to get interested in Prakriti, you need to have these 3 gunas. Without these 3 gunas, nothing can be achievable. So the difference between the Vedanta Marga and Patanjali Yoga Sutra is that in the Vedanta, they talk about Rajas, Tamas, Sattva, whereas in the gunas, even though there is Rajas, Tamas, Sattva, he talks about a different dimension which can be experienced, which is about parinama, tapa and samskara. So what I need to do in order to get prakasha, illumination, that is the 18th shloka, prakasha kriya sthiti shilam bhutendriyatmakam bhoga pavargartham drishyam. So prakasha is the illumination, kriya is the activity, sthiti is out of the 3, that is srishti, sthiti, laya. You are coming into the sthiti. Shilam is the nature of things, bhuta is the elements, indriya is the sense organs, Atmakam, which has its own nature. Bhoga is the experience. Apavarga is liberation. Artham. Artham is what purpose it should serve. Drishyam is the scene. So the scene is the nature of the gunas, illumination, activity, and inertia, and consists of elements and sense organs whose purpose is to provide experiences for enjoyment and liberation to the Purusha. So if I am Purusha, I don't have to enjoy the Prakriti. I can be with Prakriti, but I am not part of Prakriti. Prakriti doesn't tell me what I should do. I know what should be done. So the Prakasha is the Sattva, the Kriya is the Rajas, and the Sthiti is Tamas. So the Prakriti is there to provide experience, to show that you cannot hold on to Prakriti at all, because it keeps on giving you tapa. So knowing that the Purusha now through Jnana removes its association with Prakriti. So the person stops. That is, there is no person any longer. If there is no person any longer, then there is no sense of self. If there is no sense of self, he becomes everything and everyone. Because the nature, what we call as Prakriti, consists of elements and organs of which can create sensual experiences. That means everyone has a pair of eyes, everyone has a pair of ears, everyone has a nose, everyone has a mouth, everyone has a body, and everyone has a mind. They are not mine, and neither they are theirs. It is of Prakriti. The enlivener or the person or the thing which is enlivening that or making it live is the Purusha. It's not the Prakriti. But the experience is provided through Prakriti by way of sense organs. So the organs would include the intellect, the mind, and senses, and the body. So we can't experience anything without these. So then I think I am the mind, I am the body because of ignorance, avidya. So the moment I come to know that I am just a sakshi, witness. So I am witnessing the body, I am witnessing the mind. Neither I am the body nor I am the mind. So I have removed the parinama, tapa, samskara. And because of that, the dukkha no longer arises. And because the dukkha doesn't arises, it will first start with prakasha, sattva. And it gets into the sthiti, which is tamas. So now I can see how the kriya activities, which is rajas, can move from the sthiti, inertia or being there, and it can move to prakasha. But I am neither prakasha nor I am sthiti nor I am kriya. I am more than all of that. Without me, the sattva, rajas, tamas also doesn't make sense. So what I need to do in watching the breath is to just look at what is happening. That all the five senses comes into existence with in-breath, all the five senses depart by out-breath. So when I keep on doing that, I now find or I now bring a gap between me and the sense organs. And when I have brought the gap between the myself, the original self, and the sense organs, then the chitta will become pure, because the mind now don't hold on to the senses and the sense object. It's like the food not been given to the mind. And since no food is entering into the mind can no longer feed onto these things. These things as in sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, and thoughts. So if I don't do that, then there is no parinam. So the objective here is to come out of parinam. So this is a beautiful sutra for practice. So now if I were to really practice that, then I need to come to how to meditate. That is in the 11th shloka, or the 11th shloka I need to take. So that is dhyana heyah tad vrittayah. So these vrittis can be destroyed only through dhyana, because of the 10th sutra, which is te prati prasava heyah sukshmaha. So the objective of these vrittis, they are in very subtle form. So first you have to take the gross input into the subtle input, and when you are in that, when that goes into the subtle, it goes back to its original form, the primal cause. The primal cause is the chitta, then you have buddhi, then you have ahankara and manas. So these vrittis will be there in that. So they flow in that. So this sukshma one, that can be only be done through meditation, that is samadhi. So first I have to practice sabija samadhi or samprajnata samadhi and come to asamprajnata samadhi, which we saw in the first chapter. So now what I'm going to do is I'm now going to the first chapter and completing the remaining shlokas relating to that. So what we need to do in meditation is to remove the parinama, tapa, samskara, and when we do that we get into samadhi. So now we'll come to samadhi pada. So yesterday we looked till 33, I think so. Yes, 33 we did. Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upeksha. Now we are coming to 34. This will be prachardhana vidharanabhyam va pranasya. Prachardhana is to exhale or expel. Vidharana is to retain. Vidharanabhyam, by these two, that is between prachardhana and vidharana, va pranasya. The prana has to be held. So what it really means is that when I see the sight, stop the breath then and there. I need to be aware, and the sight has come, like in this case 2 of you are sitting. So immediately further involvement should not be made. So I need to do pranayama. So what I do now is I withdraw the senses from the object, what I am seeing right now. So when that object is gone, then eyes drop off, because the object is not there. That is, the sight is not there. Same thing I need to do with sound, same thing with touch, smell, taste and thoughts. So I need to keep on watching the breath to see any movement. So when an object comes into the sense door, there would be increase in the breath. So I need to hold it. Holding is not kumbhaka, that is a very wrong practice. In fact, people have gone too much into the Hatha Yoga Pradipika and they keep on doing some strange kind of things which is not good for health and not at all good for Adhyatma. So better to drop that. But if I cannot drop it, at least I need to understand what this is all about, what Patanjali is trying to say. So it is about ensuring that vidharana is done. Dharana is to hold. Vidharana is to remove that in a way that you are not sending the prana anywhere. So every object takes out the prana. The sound takes out the prana, the sight takes out the prana, which is the normal process. Then the hunger comes because that we are constantly taking out prana in eating, and then the nose keep on smelling and mind keeps on thinking. So we have to remove all of these six, and the majority of the thing what we use is sight and sound, or eyes and ears. So I need to have this practice of watching the breath, and if there is an object in front of me, should watch that object and not allow the breath change. In that case, the breath stops. So if the breath is stopping, that means no energy has gone out. As soon as I hear a sound, the ear starts to go towards that sound. Immediately, I need to stop that. So the moment I stop it, the prana will not go out. So basically, wherever the mind goes, the prana follows. And mind goes in the sight and the sound and the taste and touch and smell and thoughts. It goes in all these six. So the mind becomes agitated, and when the mind becomes agitated, the heavy breathing will start. So I need to do is that no matter who is sitting in front or who is wherever it is, should watch the breath and ensure that there is no heavy breathing. And when that happens, there is no breathing. And if there is no breathing, then the prana is not going out. And this is when the Kevala Kumbhaka has been mastered. So the automatic retention of breath is happening without the effort. So by stopping this prana going in five senses, the sixth sense, mind, there won't be any thought at all, because by attacking all the five senses, you are basically stopping any movement. And if there is no movement, the mind cannot move anywhere. Mind requires these five senses to move. And hence there is bliss feeling which happens automatically. So this is the practice I need to be doing in order to get rid of the samskaras. And that's all I had for today. Any questions? As a practice, this is what we need to do.
Yeah, I think Parinama is where, in other words, you take things as it is. Don't try to expect something else or try to change it.
Right.
That is
Exactly.
the crux of it.
Yes, that is the crux of it. So if I take you as Lata or if I take him as Bhat, then there is Parinama. So there will be Tapa automatically. And if there's Tapa, then there will be Samskaras.
Yeah. So then the moment when you want to change from whatever is there to something else is when all this parinama is try to happen, and then this tapa will happen, and then the
Not
samskara will
Tapa,
deepen.
Tapa.
Tapa.
Tapa is heat.
So the samskaras will deepen. It's already there, so it will deepen.
Yes. So what happens? No, Samskaras is like this. Vasanas are there. I create necessary conditions for it to come, which is Samskara.
Mm.
Okay. And then their karma will start. Okay. Now let us understand it in this way. Let's say I like something. Let's say I like going to a particular place. Let's take an example that I love America. Okay, that's the thing in my vasana, because I like that place for what there are some key things over there, which is the vasana. Now I want to go and settle down there. Okay, so that is the tapa basically. For that I require samskara. So I need to do something about that, about going to America. Okay, so I need to create necessary conditions. So I have to start conditioning it through eyes, through ears, through nose, through tongue, through body, and through mind. I need to condition. So when I condition it, until it happens, the anxiety is going to be there. Okay, otherwise it becomes, the parinama is that expected result, right? So my expected result plus tapa plus samskara is dukkha, because till it happens, till I land in America with a job, it's not going to work out. Or with something, I need to be in America. If somebody takes care of me, or I go on a job, or I get a whatever it is, till that time it is not going to work out. So let's say I get H1B visa. Am I happy with that? No, but then I require to extend it. I require a green card. Then I need to become a citizen of the country. If I become citizen of the country, then that tapa is gone, because it has to run through the entire cycle. So for a viveka, a person with discrimination can watch that this whole is a foolish exercise. You have to put so much of effort for nothing. And what I'm going to do is to eat, sleep, breathe, and all that only. It's not that something else is happening over there. Nothing else is happening. So what Patanjali says is that you look at this. You are either having parinama, or you are going to do tapa, or you are going to do samskara, which is the hetu, that is the result, which is going to come. Dukkha. Anagatam means which has not arisen. So by stopping this, by understanding this, that you will get only pain, you will get only dukkha, there is no sukha out there. Going to America, you have to take the journey, you have to book the flight, you have to do so many things, and after that getting down there, you have to start working, earn for a living, have to have a car, house, and so many things will start to manifest, which you wouldn't have enjoyed anything. It's only anxiety, relief from anxiety, anxiety, relief from anxiety. So if it works out, relief from anxiety. Doesn't work out, continue in anxiety. So the mind is never stopping. The vrittis are not stopping at all. And hence, I cannot understand the true nature. So the meditative practice here is to observe the breath, watch out for anything, any heaviness in the breath which is coming. If it is coming, then the parinama, tapa, and samskaras are there. So letting go of that will relieve. So I need to do meditation, dhyana, and burn the vrittis. So then the question comes, and what happens to the vasana? They exist without any potential because the samskaras are removed. If you remove the samskara, there are no karma because karmas are attached to samskara and samskara is attached to vasana. Because you don't have samskara, there are no karma. Vasana will die. It's the most easiest process.
When you say it is easy, to do is the difficult part.
So you just watch the breath. You don't have to know so much of theory.
Yeah, you just have to watch the breath and then you will automatically be in centered.
Yes. So
you don't have to know all the theory, actually.
That is the problem. See, in the last 4 years, what we have done, we have not practiced, we have only done theory, which is literal waste. We have wasted 4 years for nothing. If we had watched breath from day one, by now we would have been somewhere. We are just accumulating knowledge, and accumulation of knowledge is of no use because it only creates problems. What is the problem? It will be only in the mind. No experience is possible. And if my objective is to only gain knowledge, so I should be sure that it is only for the mind. Mind wants to know. It is not the consciousness wants to know. Consciousness already knows everything. There is no need for consciousness to know anything more than what it knows. Only the mind is ignorant of it. So we have to select something which will help us in removing quintals of knowledge and only have that knowledge which will lead to liberation.
Yeah.
So either we do Soham or Hamso or Om. That will take.
Yeah, that is the only thing. One thing is enough. All this theory, even if you don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. See, if somebody were to ask me, have you read this or have you read that? I don't have to say, yeah, I know or I don't know. So I don't have to read it because reading is again a pain because it has parinama, tapa, samskara. Now I'm creating new samskara. I need to learn something. That is a samskara, which is pain. So viveka, if I am a viveki, then I am not going to do the samskaras. If I am an aviveki who doesn't know how to discriminate, I'll keep on developing the samskaras. So next life I will be reborn as a teacher again. Let's say these many years, these many lives I have been. So another life, okay, enjoy. Now you again teach to a set of students and do whatever you want to do, which is of no use. See, the first thing I need to drop for myself is language. You don't have any liking for any language, not any hatred towards any language, because language is for 5 senses. So first drop that. So the thing is that Sanskrit is a very chandas. It has a very nice, attractive sounds, and that creates samskaras. And samskaras are dukkha because there is tapa and there is parinama. It's not that we should not know Sanskrit, but getting totally deep into it is going to create further more problem for me. So what I should do is take it as a language. It's a communication language. It's all the scriptures are written in that. It's a very good, and it has a very good sound, all of that. So I take that for using it, not for gaining anything from it. Because if I have an objective of gaining, there would be loss. I'm going to lose it. At when? At death. In any, whatever we have learned, we are going to lose it at death. Where are we losing it every day? We are losing it every day in our sleep. No matter how much I have read or how much I have learned or how much I have spoken. Doesn't matter. It just goes away. So all the three, these three are dukkha. So if I were to stop that dukkha, it's so nice. So for you and me, Lata, we don't have to know so much of things. We just have to go by like whatever, if you are following that Raja Yoga of Yogananda, just do that. Sufficient. You don't have to know Sanskrit shlokas or mantras or japa or this or that. It's not required for you. And in one way, you are blessed because you are not been born in a Brahmin family. Because letting go of all of this is a problem for me. At least in my case, it is good. If I compare my wife side, they are too much into it, and it will be so difficult for them to drop it. It's not possible. It's not easy also, because they have so much of samskaras. It is impossible. That, like, my wife is trying her best now that her mother is staying at our home. She has all of those ideas that you should do this, do that, and unfortunately she can't tell me anything, that you do this, you do that, because I have told her I'm not going to do anything. Nothing I'm going to do. But her son does it, so she feels very happy that her son at least is doing it, and he does all of that. So he, since he has studied Veda and all that, he goes and he recites, and then he does all of the things. I don't do anything. It's such a what I can say, relief from these useless samskaras, because that is tapa itself. And dropping it off, I see my wife, it's so difficult for her to drop. And when her mother is around, it becomes a real problem for her, because at least for her sake she has to do now, otherwise she'll feel bad. So it's good that you're never born in a Brahmin family. To be, that is the most luckiest thing you have got, because for you it is a clean slate. For me, it is not a clean slate, it is an ugly slate. So you have to literally take a petrol or something and wipe it off, and that doesn't go completely. So the slate is still with, these blemishes, and you can't paint it also. So dropping those samskaras are the most important thing. All the samskaras have to be given up, and then the truth reveals itself. So I don't have to do any.
Yeah. So I think once the truth is revealed, then you wonder what is all these thousands and
Yeah, it's a
thousands
waste.
books and
Actually,
pages.
now I feel.
I heard Sri M telling about it. It's so simple, but then you will also wonder why thousands and thousands of books are written about it.
Yeah, not only Sri M, I daily feel it when I keep on reading this Patanjali Yoga Sutra. It's so nice. So if you really understand it, then you don't require tons of books. You know how many books we have at our home, and my mother-in-law keeps on listening to Bhagavata, this, that, and in fact we had an entire Bhagavata, all that series. Fortunately, I ensured that everything is donated to somebody. So at my home there are no these books. None of the books are there. Otherwise, it is a pain of carrying so much of books, reading it, and then reciting it. And who wants all of that? All that you want is, what is the difference between mind and consciousness? That's all. For that, you don't require tons of literature, and then there are so many commentaries, so many sub commentaries, so many interpretations. Crazy it is. It's good, good, good that way to get relief from all of these. It's a so much of a pain I feel we are carrying. But anyway, that is how religion is. That is how things are. Nothing that can be done. You just can, like what you say, I need to be compassionate. That's the only thing I need to learn, is to just allow whoever is following, let them follow. What is my point?
Yeah. So, right. So my objective of doing this Raja Yoga is to clean my mind. It's
Yeah.
not that I want to get liberated, because I think by this process, you will anyway, even M has also told many things. I'm not telling that everybody who does Kriya Yoga will get liberated. So it is like you bring closer. So it's just some method to calm and clean the mind.
Correct. See, the ultimate aim is to drop off the senses from the sense object. Whether you do it through Vedanta way, whether you do it through the Patanjali Yoga Sutra way, whether you do it through Yogananda's way, or Babaji's way, or do it through Buddha's way or Jain way or this way or that way, whichever way. Only single objective. Five senses, five sense object, sixth sense, thoughts. Drop five senses with sense object. Internally, you are what you are. There is externally is only this.
I kept on reading that, not now, even before also, this Kriya Yoga, what that Babaji has taught. They say there is a fastest path. They give in terms of numbers also. It takes this many number of years, but you do this, it is equivalent to this many
Lives.
thousand lives and so on.
Correct.
So how does that come?
No, it is like this, Lata. Let's say if I were to take this Katopanishad example, right? So now for Katopanishad, I need to have another Upanishad which is Mandukya Upanishad. Without that Katopanishad, the understanding is not possible. So with Katopanishad and Mandukya Upanishad, I need to add the Taittiriya Upanishad. So if I add these three, then I get a gist of what is Brahman, but on a mental state.
Conceptual level.
Only mental state. Yeah, conceptual level. Concept is in the mind only. So mental level. With Kriya Yoga, Babaji Kriya Yoga, what you're doing is you're cutting all of that at once. And you're only looking at the breath and manipulating the breath. So what happens? How is the life coming? How do you get a life? Tell me.
With prana only, right?
No. Prana is there. But the prana is in the eyes and the ears and nose and tongue and all body, right? So now when I do something, the samskaras will draw into the vasana, and because of that vasana, this, after the breaking of this body, I'll be reborn. I means this five senses plus mind with the consciousness, that consciousness which is there in everyone, gives life to these five senses and mind to have another life.
Another set of experiences.
Now you again get a set of experiences, right?
Right,
So
right.
what was the previous life? Set of
Same
experience.
thing.
What is the
Set
next
of
life?
experience.
Set of experience. So what is experience? Experience through eyes, experience through ears, nose, tongue, body, all that. What Babaji says is a beautiful thing. Observe. This one and that one are the same. So if you are able to stop the breath from going outside, haven't you stopped so many lives? So many experiences? Which is true. Patanjali also says the same thing.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Patanjali also says the same thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
Buddha also says the same thing. You cut the five senses with the sense object. Ultimately, what you get?
Shankaracharya also says the same thing only.
Exactly. So Shankaracharya also says the same thing. And that is what is about Shama and Dhamma, Uparati, Titiksha. Titiksha is required because the senses have ability to go out. And in fact, Ayurveda, beautiful. You drop all of this. I don't want so much of theory. Let's go by Ayurveda. There's nothing else. It says that Indriya, Indravanti iti Indriya, that is, which moves is Indriya. It moves. What it moves? It moves where the sight is. It moves where the sound is. It moves where the touch is, like that, right? So it says, what is this whole equipment? It can be split up into three parts. One is Dhatu, Mala, Mutra, Purisha. Finished. And Vagbhata, a brilliant thing, he says, Ragadi Roga Satata Anushaktan. That means Raga, Dvesha, Moha, as long as it is there, the Roga will continue. So where is Raga? In the sight, in the sound, in the taste, in the touch, in the smell, and in the thoughts. Where is Dvesha? Again in this five. Where is Moha? Again in this five. So as long as I am having this, the Roga is going to be there. You stop 1 second. So you stop that, and then it's already 9:32. Nandini is
9:30.
yeah. Let me join that meeting. Nandini is called.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, so we'll meet up on Monday.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.